Wake up, gamers, cause you're listening to Big Think Dimension with KZ Excellent,
I'm optimistic about things.
Dan and Bob Video Games,
You see that mountain? You can fuck another man on that mountain.
and Mr. Feel
Extreme!
here on GigaBoots.
So, Bob,
Yeah?
I showed you this earlier this week, but I didn't tweet about it because I thought it was a really good opening for this week's Big Think.
All right.
Guys, there is a page on the Taco Bell website where they implore you to eat at Taco Bells internationally. Would you like to know what amazing international cuisine Taco Bell has for you to try?
I want to know.
Okay, so they have a chicken tikka masala burrito.
It sounds really good, actually.
I was like, oh, why aren't you serving that here? That looks great because it's got like everything you would want. It's got Mexican rice, onion, cilantro mix, and a tandoori mayo sauce. And it literally looks like I'm going to copy this image. Feel free to not cut this into the podcast. It's up to you, KZ. But look at this. Look at this. That looks delicious. I would absolutely eat that.
Wow.
So in my opinion, that's the peak. We're going to go to the number 2 thing on this page. Gordita with fries and tzatziki sauce.
Ooh.
It's
What the fuck is tzatziki?
tzatziki sauce is what they put on gyros. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's gyros?
Yes, it's what they put on gyros. That one, not
that
as
looks
tempting,
good.
but I would eat it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
If
a
those
discount.
fries are good, I eat it.
Gyro.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we don't get this.
And it's like tzatziki sauce, which is delicious on everything.
Just get tzatziki sauce on any Taco Bell item. That's all we need.
Yeah, just put it on the menu. Okay, guys, the drop from here is really big, so I'm going to need you to brace yourselves.
Okay, I'm prepared for the worst.
Oh, no.
Kimchi quesadilla.
What?
I'd try it.
Yeah,
I like
hear
kimchi.
you.
I'd try it.
I love kimchi. The thought of stuffing that shit
I'm
in
gonna
a
be honest. I
quesadilla
want to
squirt.
imagine your Taco Bell making it.
It's just cabbage. It's not pickled at all.
Okay, and it's like, yeah, that seems all right. That there are a couple other things on here that people could be excited for, I guess. Here's the absolute bottom, in my opinion. I think Bob said, he was more positive on it than me. This is called the Choco Marsh. It seems to be a crunch wrap full of sugar. It's just chocolate and marshmallow fluff.
So it's supposed to be like a weird crepe?
No,
that has to
they
be what
were
they're going
comparing.
for.
They were
Crappy?
comparing it to tapas. I don't think they should do that, but they are. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that's a bad plan. But I feel like I would eat one of these and just feel ill. Like, I don't know. This is one of the things on this list that I'm just like, you can keep that overseas. I don't need that here. Japan also has a shrimp and avocado burrito. I'd eat that, but I want the tzatziki sauce more.
I think the international fast food item I most want to eat is KFC's Dragon Twister.
That sounds like a fucking Street Fighter move. What is that?
It is they're chicken tenders in like a very thin pancake with cucumbers and like a couple other things and Peking duck sauce.
Oh, that actually sounds
Kind
pretty
of
good.
like the KFC version of Peking duck.
Yeah. Huh. That sounds all right. Huh. Yeah, no, I could be down for that. I really could. But yeah, no, the kimchi quesadilla haunts me. The 2 items on the top, the first ones I mentioned, really delicious sounding, and the Choco Marsh sounds like if I think eating 8 Cinnabons makes me feel sick, eating the Choco Marsh would make me feel so much worse.
Just the name Choco Marsh is like threatening.
Yes. It sounds like a concern, not like a
You're
thing you
stuck
could
in the mire of chocolate. It's like a From Soft swamp level, but there's chocolate.
but there's sugar all over it. You eat it.
You stay in the chocolate marsh too long, and the thing pops up and says diabetes.
Reclaim your humanity. Reclaim your insulin. But enough about worldly Taco Bell. Bob,
Yeah, what's up?
what have you been playing?
I played Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
I hear that's a video game.
It is a video game.
What'd you play it on?
I played it on PS4.
Okay, how is?
The
I
load
didn't buy
times are
that.
intense.
Great. Oh no.
Like it feels
Yeah,
like
they are.
every several steps you do a loading screen, and they're all is longer or longer than Kingdom Hearts 3 loading screens.
Fantastic.
I've gotten more and more trepidatious about this game
Yeah,
as it got closer to launch. So you're gonna need to sell me on this or stop me from buying it. With what you say.
yeah. I wouldn't say go running out to buy this. It's a little rough.
Let it get patched a couple times.
I don't know if even patches will help that much. I mean, I don't know how
the content itself.
everything. I played 4 hours of this game. It was all tutorial. It felt like
Oh.
it was constantly like telling me what to do in a really annoying way, and then it doesn't tell me like key facts, like to get to the world map, you fly directly up. Instead, I'm like left wandering around this area. It's like go towards Luca Island. I'm like, okay. Every time I try and go any direction, you have Goku's turn around on the Nimbus and be like, oh, it's not this way.
What?
But if you fly straight up, you go to the world map and you can select it.
Oh my god. Okay.
That's
sure.
a major downgrade from Legacy of Goku, where you jumped on the flight pad and go to mode 7 dimension.
But yeah, the fighting seems really simple, which is kind of what I expected. But like Raditz takes millions of hits. I don't get it. That everything is so spongy.
I noticed that in all the gameplay they were showing that everything's really spongy.
So it's a bizarre balance they have to this game. I thought maybe you'd level up and be ready for it, but I did all the side
Did
quests
they
before
expect you
too.
to grind a lot, or
Maybe you just wander around just fighting random dudes, leveling up.
At that point, it's an RPG where you're expected to grind a lot and has Toriyama art. They should just play the Dragon Quest music from Dragon Quest 1.
Yes. Also, I think the translation can be really weird at times. Like, you have these things.
Yeah.
They call them communities, which I think is a very strange way to translate this.
Okay.
It's basically a board where you get to select characters to enhance something. So, like, you have one board for your fighting, and you can put Gohan and Goku together, and they say, like, their father-son bond, and it gets you a bonus, and you can connect more people to them.
oh,
Which is kind of neat. And they have this for food, for cooking in general, and then for adult stuff, which is weird because it's a picture of like one of Roshi's hentai books.
Oh.
It gets you better prices at shops.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel
That's
like
weird.
calling that a community and the way they introduced that whole system is bizarre and made me think it was going to be online functionality.
Yeah, no,
That's also what I thought.
when you described it, I thought it was heading towards that, but as you continue to describe it, I'm like, this is not that.
Right? That's why I'm like, I think this is just bad translation, just like straight verbatim. Oh, it's called, this word in Japanese means community. Let's not try and make this logical for the game. Let's just translate it verbatim.
Well, yeah, Bob. The only good translations are literal.
Yeah.
I suppose it can't be helped.
Turn it down.
Whenever I look up news for our stuff, I go through a few different places, and at times I'll check what Reset Era is saying. The top thread right now: my PS4 Pro just completely died while playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Huh.
Wow. So because of the heinous load times, I'm literally waiting until the Xbox Series X comes out to play this. For those who didn't hear, it
power of the
actually leaked the exact type of solid state drive that's used in the Xbox Series X. And I was going to cover this in news, but it's pretty minor. The one that Sony has, Sony confirmed they're using a certain type of SSD. Samsung confirmed Sony's using their SSD. So that means it is limited down to Samsung's SSDs of a specific type. All of those are faster than the one that's leaked to be in the Xbox Series X. So,
Oh no!
Very cool.
it's interesting. I'm looking forward to load time comparisons. I can't imagine that it's just like through optimization Sony made and other stuff, there are virtually no load times on them, and a few seconds on Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series X fans are like, this is stupid. I'm outraged. I had to wait 4 seconds instead of 1. But, we'll get to find out at launch.
But I think, back to Kakarot, I think that game's kind of cool. I like flying around and stuff, but I really feel like it's too grindy and takes all this material way too slowly. Like,
oh, yeah, it's way too slow with the source material.
Right,
Yeah.
because everyone knows all of this very well.
Yeah.
Yet they're painstakingly, like, it took me 4 hours. I'm just now playing as Gohan training with Piccolo for the first time.
Oh,
That's insane.
Well, yeah, Bob, it's going to be a 70-hour RPG that goes up to the Boo Saga.
Right,
So, of course,
that's
this
the
is...
that's
you
the
know.
average length of an RPG.
Bob, as it turns out, this is only slightly faster than just watching the show.
Right? It's like, I don't need this. I want
Finally, a way for me to
Please.
get into the Dragon Ball franchise.
Just go
Oh,
through
yeah.
this quick, do the cool stuff, make it look nice. Like, some parts that they do actually legitimately redo and do well, like fight scenes, look great. And then most of it just two people standing staring at each other is dialogue is spouted.
Oh, I've seen that.
That is, I heard people talking about that, and I went, oh, so they've upgraded. Because when you think of the CyberConnect 2 Naruto games, everyone talks about how cool the action is in that. Amazing choreography. They completely make up set pieces in the action. And then the cutscenes are anime JPEGs with narration.
I think I might prefer that.
For long stretches where no one remembers those parts, but that's the part where the money gone. And it looks like they have a little bit more money now that they can have like cutscenes where people stand and talk, but they don't show their mouths, so they don't have to animate them.
Yep. So
Yeah.
it's a mixed bag.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also like to point out, I don't know fucking why you can't take screenshots of this game.
I know why.
Bamco.
Yeah, it's a
It's
Bamco does
DBZ
that all
game.
the time.
screenshots, not video screenshots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
I have
they do
never
that.
seen it on a game before now, where it's just like, no, you cannot take a screenshot of this game.
I remember they also aren't they seemingly trying to recreate like old music too? Like the game sounded like the original show and stuff. And I think they have licensed stuff in there. So it sounds like they just put a block on it in general. But I remember various Tales games, a bunch of their licensed anime stuff is really like, no, you're not sharing anything about this game. We legally can't.
What a smart decision.
Yeah. Anime contracts
People
often are
from
that.
I remember the beginning of this generation when Sony's like, and we're going to hand the tools to developers to block screenshots and videos. And I'm like, why are you putting that gun on that table? You don't
I
have
can
to do
understand
that.
video because of music and stuff and story stuff, but like, if you block screenshots, you're just saying, don't talk about our game online.
Yeah, no, it's really dumb. Nobody's saying it isn't, but that's definitely what Toei would want.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I ran back to where the game started and there was just another Goku standing there. I wanted to take a screenshot of it and be like, damn, guess this needed another couple months in the can.
Wait, there was just another Goku standing there?
Yes,
Is this-
I got to the end of that little tutorial with Gohan where you fish and cook, and I'm like, well, I'm going to run around because Goku hauls ass in this game when you run. He runs so fast. So I just hauled ass back, and I'm like, there's just another Goku there. He wasn't T-posing, but I'm surprised he wasn't. He was just standing there.
Yeah, I had to pull up my smartphone when I saw some of this stuff to just take a picture physically.
Yeah, this sounds rough. But there's another game we've played this week.
Oh yeah?
We all played it. It's Kingdom Hearts 3 with the ReMind DLC.
I wanted to, before we jump into the ReMind itself, talk a little bit about that free update they put out.
Sure, yeah.
Because that's an interesting way to differentiate the content. They put out a free patch. They came like an hour before the first launch in certain territories for ReMind. This fixed Kingdom Hearts 3 in some ways I did not expect. From a gameplay perspective, there's stuff like when you would play through the game, lock-on wasn't perfect. Like if there was an enemy behind you, you could not lock onto it, even if it was in range. Like it just, it was too far behind you. They completely changed it and give you a large range, so being able to lock on to certain things was a lot better. They added cancel windows to multiple finishers and moves, which is something people have been asking for a while, because there are a lot of moves you have to really commit to in this game, and sometimes it can be it allows a little bit less expression with that. They fixed a lot of cutscenes, where if you select the theater in this game, 80% of the cutscenes have been changed in some way. Like, in terms of detail, some of the final cutscenes of the game, like the one right before you go to the final location, completely changed. They added brand new music to it, and completely changed the skybox. Which,
does the pirates get music now?
Maybe.
That would be
I don't know.
great.
They added a lot of extra songs to the main game that make certain emotional scenes or big things that happen have a completely different tone with this music that I thought was interesting. And the CG ending it looks like they completely redid it. Like, the lighting is completely different. It looks 10 times better. And it was kind of shocking that they went to that degree with it. And they also added the 2 new Keyblades that people have been playing around with if you unlocked them, and 6 new action abilities that that completely change how combat feels, where they are faster than every other combat ability in the game. They have amazing coverage. One of them opens up to you being able to parry things really easily, and combat just feels so much better in this game. Like, it is night and day, and I'm shocked that they really nailed exactly what I would have wanted for like an update to the general mechanics of the game. So I'm really pleased with that. So they put up decent amount of stuff in the free update before ReMind, but I thought I'd mention that in case people were wondering what all is in the paid package.
Yeah, I find that stuff interesting.
Mm-hmm. Which it was a good choice. This feels like when they put out Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, where they rebalance the combat a lot, and that's why a lot of people like that game specifically, because they made it a better game mechanically. And I think they went further with this one, just on these updates alone.
I know, like, for someone who hasn't done a lot of research, figuring out what was free has been a little difficult. So I'm glad you talked about it here. Yeah,
that's all the stuff that was free. So, like, those new Keyblades, they made those free because they didn't want to paywall people, because they already have specific unlock requirements for it. I guess can mention what was in the package people paid for, since we're about to talk about it anyway.
Sure.
With ReMind, the first thing you get, I guess the main bulk of it, is you get the ReMind episode, which is a story scenario that takes place. Technically, it's something you play after you beat Kingdom Hearts 3. You load your clear save, and then you can drop into it. And when you complete that, you unlock a thing called the Limit Cut episode, which is like in Kingdom Hearts 2, you fight data versions of Organization 13, and they are all super boss leveled with completely new mechanics and all this stuff. And when you beat that, it's my assumption, because I haven't gotten past that, you would unlock a secret episode which would have the hardest boss in the game and the new secret ending, which would allude to future Kingdom Hearts games.
Yes, that is true.
That is my assumption, as I haven't finished the Limit Cut stuff yet.
I actually have. That is accurate. I would say that final episode has maybe, let's say, 12 minutes of content.
Yeah, I was assuming it was going to be something like that. When I finally figured out, oh, that's how this is formatted, I thought they were going to roll this stuff into the main game and you just go to other locations, but no, it's this other thing where they do weird things with saves, and please, for the love of God, give us more slots. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I noticed the hardcore players really, really want more save slots for this. But I guess we're going to throw out the spoilers flag, if you're okay with that.
Yep, and the last little things that they added to this DLC in terms of other stuff. They have something called data greeting, which is just a large scale photo mode. It gives you 31 different locations to use across various different worlds. Basically, every character in the entire game is usable with multiple different poses and styles, a bunch of filters. It's a very big expanded photo mode, and also a slideshow mode for music. So you can create AMVs, I guess, if you want.
I wouldn't think of slideshows as AMVs, but okay.
No, I'm trying to think of the
overstretching a
word
little
for I'm trying to think of those online videos where they were just musical slideshows with anime JPEGs from fucking 2005.
Those are just called bad YouTube videos.
I didn't want to just say that, okay? It's a little too broad.
Look, sometimes you want some tools to expedite making bad YouTube videos.
Yeah. And the last thing they added was, if you start a new game now, you're given an extra choice at the very start of whether you want to use the easy codes or the pro codes, which are difficulty modifiers. They come with their own set of achievements that you can do and change variables about the game. The pro ones being stuff like restricting you to not using a variety of the game's mechanics, and challenges like defeat this boss, defeat this set of enemies. And the easy code stuff is stuff like make it to the castle in the Tangled world without touching the ground. Because they give you a bunch of different things to make your character better, like make you really strong, or make your gummy ship level 99 with every gummy block in the game automatically. Just so you can build whatever you want. But that's it. That's all the DLC content. So Dan, what did you think of Kingdom Hearts 3 ReMind?
Well, we're going to go ahead and throw out the spoilers tag. This is absolutely going to be a spoiler-filled discussion for a bit here. It's okay. We're going to let people know when the discussion is over.
I'll play some music now.
So Kingdom Hearts ReMind, as KZ pointed out, it has the photo mode. It has the ReMind thing, which plays out. We're just talking about our opinions. It makes you replay about 4 hours of the game, and about 85% of it's identical to how it was before, with about 15% injected new stuff. So that wasn't that great of an experience. But I do think
I wouldn't say that ratio is really accurate, but I do agree that by the end, when they make you fight the armored Xehanort replicas again, I went, this doesn't need to be here. I get you're trying to illustrate at what point in the story this is coinciding with, but you don't need to make me do this. I'm just going to kill it in 5 seconds.
I was actually going to say, are you talking about outside of Xehanort as a portal, or inside Xehanort as a portal when you fight them?
No, the part where Christopher Lloyd summons his replicas, and then you have to fight them in Scala, because that's the exact same fight again. And I'm like, at that point I went, we don't need this fight here.
Yeah,
I get you need to illustrate a timeline.
Well, I mean,
I think just showing a cutscene of them hitting that's customized in 10 seconds of it happening would have worked.
Well, the very first battle you can do by heading right instead of left doesn't have any new content at all in ReMind. Once you get to the final battle gauntlet, when you're fighting the organization member, there's an entire battle that's nothing.
The one
new.
with Luke's sword and Marluxia and them. Yeah, there's only one thing, and it's the Mickey team attack is present there, as well as the Xehanort fight.
That's true. It is present there.
Yeah, they probably just wanted that to be present in more than one fight if they could manage it. Which that attack is really goofy.
But yeah, I was just going to blitz through real quick and just be like, that's how I feel about the ratio on that stuff. 85-15 is how I feel. I think the limit cut stuff is only unfortunate in that it's locking the thing that is the main reason I feel a lot of people bought ReMind. I feel like a lot of people bought ReMind for explaining the extended ending from the original release is locked behind beating the 13 data organization members, and that's a little unfortunate for people who don't want to engage with Kingdom Hearts on high-level combat level. I think it's unfortunate from that angle, and the fact that there's only about maybe 12 or 14 minutes of actual content past that is also a bit unfortunate. So I don't have a use for the photo mode. I think the free update stuff is swell. I think that's incredible. But for $30, I don't really think the ReMind DLC is a great value, and it might be one of the worst value propositions in DLC I've ever experienced. If they're I think some of the things they wrote into the actual ReMind episode would be interesting for an original release, but since that's me going through that ending again and there's barely new content for most of it, it's really, really underwhelming. But yeah, that's my opinion. Mr. Feel, I'm curious about yours.
I'm kind of standing where Dan is. I don't think it's one of the worst value propositions because I've bought some shitty DLC.
I bought horse armor.
Not quite that bad, but I've bought some stuff where I'm like, just the fact there's so much reused stuff, like right at the beginning too, really grated on me. And then I got to the new stuff and I was fine with all that. I really enjoyed all that, and I enjoyed some of the stuff they shot into the old game. But I didn't need to do the 3 Xehanort fight again. I didn't need to do the Marluxia and Luke Sword and Larxene fight again. That was just, and it didn't take very long because I was level 99. I just beasted through them, but still
Lost on them.
There was also the part that I ended up watching a lot of the cutscenes again because I'm like, are they going to add something new to this cutscene?
Right.
Yeah, that's the most frustrating.
I don't know. Like if they had like a marker, like you can skip this, that'd have been nice.
Yeah,
I did enjoy, which we absolutely have to mention, the recasting of Master Xehanort as Christopher Lloyd.
In my recording of ReMind, the first episode, I literally go, this dude kind of sounds like Doc Brown.
I spent most of the DLC just sitting there and being like, he sounds kind of like Doc Brown, but Rutger Hauer's performance was really weird. I wonder if this is just lines left over from that. I'm having difficulty dealing with the thought that Christopher Lloyd is playing Xehanort. And then I finish, once you've beat the limit cut, it tells you that that's Christopher Lloyd. It has an on-screen
posted image of it, and I've lost it.
We have him now. We have to have the Who Framed Roger Rabbit world. We have to have Judge Doom in Kingdom Hearts now.
Jesus fucking Christ.
This is unfortunate because it reminds me of when they recast Ansem from Kingdom Hearts 1 to 2, like the evil one, where they dropped Billy Zane, who hemmed it up really hard, and replaced him with Richard Epcar, who is perfectly fine, but they had him re-record a couple of Kingdom Hearts 1 cutscenes, and they sound real bad, like, in comparison. So then you reach scenes that have been re-recorded, because they show you the same scenes again, but now Christopher Lloyd's doing them, and I laughed every time.
Some of the reads are real bad.
I like his performance more than any of Rutger's, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised by this take, because that's how I feel,
I think overall.
I think I like it a lot. I think if he had more than the probably no time he had to prepare for this, he'd probably give better reads. There's just these lines where he starts in one direction and then 70% of the way through the read, he jackknifes.
I'm going to say something that no one would contest to who's worked on the voice acting side of this game, but they can't say it because they'll lose their fucking job. The voice direction of Kingdom Hearts is rock fucking bottom.
I could have told you that.
You're probably right.
Like, so
I play these games. I know. That's why the most hype thing hardcore fans talk about are battle quotes. Which, by the way, really good. Some really good battle sounds out of this new Xehanort. I like Christopher Lloyd screaming Keyblade.
Yes.
I can't wait to get to his limit cut fight because I'm sure he knocked it out of the park.
They reused so much, they should have made us do the last fight so we could get Christopher Lloyd doing the Come Kingdom Hearts read.
There is one line. This is the one that stood out the most for me in the DLC from Christopher Lloyd, and it is the limit cut fight because he has a move where he says, Keyblade, enlighten me, and it shoots light everywhere. And
I'm so excited. You have no idea how excited I am for that fight, because my hope is that it's just the final boss, only more rad. Because
yeah, is it I haven't gotten there yet, Dan. Well,
Yeah.
I guess KZ wouldn't want to know, so never mind.
no, I want to know if it's rad. Like
Well, I want to know if it's based on the ReMind final boss
Yeah.
or the game final boss.
It is
Yeah,
based on the game final boss. It's a more normal boss
Oh.
fight because the ReMind final boss is
weird.
yes, but it's cool.
Armored Xehanort with a lot of keys, which, by the way, on Critical was very hard for me.
I bet. Yeah, I think his weirdly enough, young Xehanort's the only one of the limit cut 13 that made me just want to tear my hair out. That and Luxord, because there's one phase of his fight I couldn't get a handle on, and as everyone ever can tell you about fighting Luxord, you can't swing your Keyblade at one card super easily.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. It's like, what are you thinking? Your your attack does not work with this mechanic.
So there is a funny Luxord thing I want to point out real quick. They added those new combat abilities. So in the Keyblade Graveyard fight, when he's like, "Find me," and goes into the cards, you can hit the wrong card. Sora attacks so fast he parries the card exploding, and then if you have the kick counter, Sora just automatically flies into the right card no matter where you are.
That's funny.
So since we're talking about Luxord, I did his fight today, and midway through I went, this is a fucking nightmare, because I had to teach myself to, oh god, I gotta watch the fucking target on this damn thing, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, I'm in this direction, but this one's closer to me. And then I'll hit it, because the whole theme is like finding, you have to find him amongst some cards, like exposed ones with circles on them. Overall, I think that's a better fight than his data version from 2, which was the command bar has a circle on it and 3 X's, and you gotta pick the right one, but it's so fast, the only normal person way to do it is to pause. And then, like, mash pause until it's on the right slot, then mash it.
Mm-hmm.
This one, once I understood his desperation move where a tower of cards appears, and he's like, I don't know, fucking find me 3 times. Once I figured out how
don't hit that one that's me. Don't hit the other ones.
I can't figure that one out. I was able to beat him without figuring it out.
You have to, like, a bunch of cards appear, and then you have to find the one that's him and press triangle on it. And then...
Okay,
wait, press triangle on it?
I fucking did that, and it just did nothing!
Yeah, the triangle button is
it turns into smoke. It gives you some of your time back in the meter, and as that continues, the card tower gets lower and lower because he starts running out, and then the last phase you have to do it 3 times in a row, and all the cards disappear, and he loses a shit ton of time, and you can combo on him. So it's just a game of like timing and quickly running toward it,
and hoping that you don't have the dark void or whatever the transformation is when you're low health.
That taught me that you can hit its first attack is vertical, so you hit it and then immediately mash square to cancel the rest of his attack animation.
Sounds delightful.
Before he starts wildly swinging. It taught me some tech.
Hey Bob,
tech.
I feel like we've fairly thoroughly covered mine feels and to somewhat a lesser extent KZ's opinion, but Bob, do you want to talk about your experience with the DLC and thoughts on it?
Sure. Yeah, I too was incredibly disappointed by it just making me play so much of the game again. Like, I don't want to... That's one of the last parts of the game I want to redo. Like, it's literally, like, in the same order, and it's the same bland-looking environments again. Like
You didn't have to do the puzzles in the hallway.
oh yeah, you know that
I
those were
was
so
so
hard.
afraid they'd make me do that. I would have lost my fucking shit.
That's
It's only
like a
like
couple
30 seconds,
seconds.
but I still would have been like, fuck you.
Yeah, like every single fight was that though. Like it was neat to play as Riku, but I'd rather be playing as Riku in some sort of new thing instead of this old thing. Like trying to write more into these events that already happened did basically nothing for me and made the timeline just even weirder.
You mean the part where they say you can't affect events and then you affected events?
Yeah, I mean that's its own thing.
Where deciphering what happened outside of Scala ad Caelum in the version of this that doesn't involve you?
Right, and then like the weird way that they bolt in both of the scenarios at the beginning of it, where you fight Terra and he beats everybody up, but then also the real Terra shows up in his armor, and that also happens still. It's bizarre. Like,
yeah, they've just decided that that's the timeline, and you went through all of it, and that's just a linear order.
it's just so rough.
Yeah,
it's a mess, honestly. ReMind
I
itself
think
is incredibly...
the end game stuff didn't really bother me because I went, okay, they're just showing what happened while the final battle was happening. It didn't.
I mean,
really.
The only good part is that part where you're controlling like the whole group of guys.
That last
really like
hour,
that.
as soon as you beat the dudes in Scala, and then they jump back to what's happening outside, and then it's like 3 or 4 different sections of fight as the group.
Yeah, fighting as a group. That is the part I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anything else. That part where you fight in the group and you go through all of actually playing as each of them, like fighting off this horde, that was really cool. If that was in the game originally, it would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I thought that I was afraid that shit was gonna be lame. Like in terms of like, yeah, just mash the button. I died on that like twice.
yeah, no, it actually feels like gameplay.
Yeah, I was like,
and
this
it's
has
new.
some depth
And it's
to it.
new.
It's actually kind of hard.
But yeah, there's so much not new and so much just added in that didn't need to be there that I'm like, I really expected this DLC to give me something more. This is super disappointing. And then I get the limit break where they hide everything I actually cared about behind these boss fights I consider to be terribly designed. I can't deal with it. It's just a mess. Like, I don't want to engage with combat or Kingdom Hearts hard combat because I feel like they can't make bosses well. So I'm pretty upset with the DLC. I feel like it's incredibly bad. But that's me.
Just to cover something, and it's not a follow-up on what anything Bob said, it's just something I want to throw out for clarification. Because Sony paid Square Enix and then they cucked me, I had to use the stream file for this DLC. Bob had an easier time going through ReMind than me because he had the Ultimate Keyblade and I had jack fucking shit, even though I'm on beginner and he's on standard. Once we hit the limit cut stuff, it looked like Bob and I were roughly hitting for around the same damage. Like,
yeah, I had to leave
so
and go max at my level.
I'm wondering if the limit cut somehow doesn't scale. Like, I'm not sure. I'm very curious about that, but beginner and standard were close enough just with the equipment I had and the equipment he had, which is, apples and oranges, obviously, that it wasn't the huge chasm of difficulty difference I was expecting.
Also, it's super upsetting that you get to Radiant Garden, you finally get to play there. It's a single room. It's just Merlin's house. Like, that's
I can't believe they even let you run around in there. I was like, what's the point of this?
That also fucked me up. I'm like, oh shit, we get to move in here. I know this door isn't gonna open. I was like, can it open? Damn it. Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, they rendered that area for cutscenes. Let us do that. Don't make all this other trash and you have to show in the main game. Let me run around Radiant Garden. Let me see more characters.
I mean, to be fair,
in hindsight, they probably should have done that because in the photo mode, in case you're wondering, you run around in those areas and play shit as Sora.
What?
So they had the main that big where they in Kingdom Hearts 3 when they like talk about stuff in Radiant Garden, that like big fountain area.
Yeah,
you walk in that. That's the area you do photo mode in for that world.
Oh my god!
Like you run around Destiny Islands as well.
So you're in Merlin's house. You don't even get to see Merlin. You see every other Final Fantasy character except Tifa and Cloud.
He's hanging out with Winnie the Pooh.
It's just so upsetting.
Yeah, I did. I was shocked they were back anyway, like a month ago when they showed that trailer. But yeah,
Right, that trailer is what gave me hope for this DLC. It's what I was like, yeah, sure, I'll buy this. And then it's like, this is basically nothing. We basically showed you everything we had. Ha ha ha.
Something, the final boss. Oh man, this is rough because KZ and Feel haven't.
I need you to your best spoiler-free description. Please describe to me how potentially cool this secret boss is. Because in previous games, in Kingdom Hearts 1, you fought Xemnas before people knew who he was. And in Kingdom Hearts 2, you fought Terra. You fought Lingering Will. And it was the sickest shit ever. Because he used, like, all the cool moves and attacked you with the Keyblade motorcycle.
I need you to understand that this boss is so unbelievably harder than all of the 13 things.
Oh.
And they locked a cutscene behind beating him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that would be the tradition.
That was beginner mode, Dan.
Yeah, it was
That's
beginner
insane.
mode. I had a level 99 character. Bob didn't even get a whole health bar off, I think.
That is the tradition of those bosses.
That's the when I went to beat Lingering Will in KH2 for like an hour and a half, I was like, this is insurmountable. This is beyond impossible. And then I unlocked 16 higher levels of thinking and worked it out.
You
But it was
unlocked
rough.
the 8 gates of chakra.
Yeah, I just, like, this boss design seems crazy for a Kingdom Hearts game.
Do you think it's cool? Like, is it doing cool stuff?
I mean, he's doing cool stuff. You're getting owned.
Okay. then that is what Kingdom Hearts secret bosses are supposed to do.
I like
Cool.
this kind of shit. I think it was incredibly cruel to lock a bunch of secret shit behind because they've never done that before.
It's really weird how Kingdom Hearts the Disney thing is like so like hardcore in some aspects with it. Where it's like, you gotta beat the hardest difficulty to get this cool Keyblade you want. You gotta, to get the secret ending, you need to go through this nightmare gauntlet of the hardest content. And I'm like, you wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, it's... And in the fact that you can fail the final secret boss fight and get content, and then you get different content for beating that person.
What?
Yeah.
They've never done that. They've never, like, given you something if you lose.
Well, that's how hard this is. Because they're pretty fucking confident you won't be able to beat this motherfucker
Now-
for quite a while.
That's even more. Before this DLC came out, said, yeah, we wanted to design a secret boss to make fans cry. Was this accurate or not?
There is a move where the person takes your Keyblade and beats you to death with it. And you cannot attack or do anything during that moment, basically.
They made something worse than the last time they did fucked up shit, which Terra, Lingering Will, would shoot you with a beam, and then all your commands would shuffle up, and you'd have to hit the right one, and it would keep moving up and down the 4 list randomly. And every time you hit the wrong one, it would electrocute you, and you'd be locked into it until you died or got free.
Yeah, all you can do once you're...
Or he shot you with a beam, and it said, you can only do magic attacks now, or you can only do physical attacks now until you get through another health bar.
Yeah, you're able to use items, you're able to use magic, I think. I think.
I wouldn't be
know.
shocked if there are certain phases that do different stuff, because they do wacky shit in some of these end
wonder if the easy pass shit carries over into limit cut, so that's like their concession. It's like if you want to speed run through the game on with all the easy baby mode shit piled on, you can just blast through this shit.
Like I don't know how much that easy stuff helps, but let me tell you, multiple tries at this boss, I think I got 3 health bars off, maybe 4. I want you to guess how many health bars this fucker has.
20.
The most in the game.
It's
20.
the most in the
It's
game.
20.
I-
It's always 20.
It's up there.
It fills that whole bar. I wouldn't be shocked. That's what they usually do. But then again, Kingdom Hearts 3 has way more health bars than any other game in the series.
Yeah, it's almost like the bosses just have a stupid amount of health because they can't figure out how to actually make difficulty.
No, it's because of how the damage distribution goes. Because typically a Kingdom Hearts combo in this, you're doing a bar per combo.
I mean, I was doing
unless your level
3 bars a combo on young Xehanort.
Yeah, you can do 2.5 with nano arms. But yeah, I mean, they spend 90% of the time invincible. So
Right, that's the main thing.
Yeah. So, was there anything else, Bob, that you felt that you wanted to like mention about your experiences with the DLC?
Yeah, I mean, all it is just venting about how I don't feel like their combat is up to the standards that you need to have something designed this hard. I think that they don't have proper tells. I think that everything just involves enemies being invincible for literally no reason, and that it's a mess, a complete mess, and they should not lock content behind it.
I can agree. I agree to that last part absolutely. They
absolutely agree.
They're using the same shit they did back in like 2006 or 7 when the last big final mix came out. Where to see that cool setup for Birth by Sleep, you've got to beat the organization super fights and a bunch of other things and a big super boss. And I don't feel like you should just let it be a thing. Let it be like a free DLC downloadable thing that you opt in and grab it.
Right, instead of being like $30 and then this insane, unsurmountable thing.
Because there are plenty of people. That's why I also feel like the price of this thing, where I don't feel ripped off by it because I like this thing, but it's also tuned to specific things I want, and I know a lot of different people don't want 13 pounds of barbed wire.
Yeah, and I don't want like just the new thing, the main part of the package, the one that's named after is literally the old end of the game, just slightly repackaged.
Yeah,
That was rough.
yeah, I mean, when I bought ReMind, I expected, Limit Cut bosses to be its own thing, and ReMind to be the plot that happens around the Limit Cut thing. I didn't expect to be replaying most of the ending identically. But yeah, I've said everything I have to say.
Yeah, I guess I got everything out too.
If there isn't a Kingdom Hearts game in the future that has Scala and Kylum as a hub, they fucked up.
You gotta do the super prequel now. You gotta go further back than Birth by Sleep.
Yes, do that.
The game where plays young Xehanort, right?
Uh-huh. And he's
we'll have
like
a lot of
Flynn.
news about that stuff. So my thoughts on ReMind: I haven't finished it yet. I've made it halfway through Limit Cut so far because I'm playing it on Critical. I think the ReMind story scenario stuff, I agree absolutely with the fact that we shouldn't have to do so much of the repeated stuff. Especially ones where it's just Sora being the one you're in control of. I feel like you could have made a 10-second cutscene that shows you they did the fight, and then they move on to the next scene. I do feel like some repeated scenes, to a degree, can still be here, because it's trying to constantly let you know this is happening at the same time. They're going through this track. I understand that stuff. That last hour, I adore it a lot. I was shocked at how good some of it was. Some of the send-ups, the whole group fight, I think, is really good. That Mickey Mouse gameplay segment might be my favorite moment in Kingdom Hearts. It really hit hard for me.
Play as
the
Mickey
microwave
Mouse.
moment.
You can play as Mickey Mouse, but he cannot die.
Just
Oh,
him
don't.
finally having this big gameplay moment where he's just fighting all of them at once and just going through this, I gotta make it to the other side. I just thought that whole thing really worked.
Bob, don't undersell the microwave room. Thank you.
Yeah, fair.
I was about to say, even I know about that thing. This was the microwave hallway thing for Kingdom Hearts.
I'm gonna have one more thing to say after you're done.
Okay, and then that whole sequence where you're like shooting out a bunch of keyholes, and then you get Kairi back, and they redo the "you finish the world" cutscene from Kingdom Hearts 2, like all the old animations, and random object shooting out a keyhole. I thought that was cool, and the final boss I thought was pretty solid. I wish there was a way to fight that version without having to do the entirety of that ReMind thing. So I thought it had a interesting move set. But Bob, what did you want to say?
The ending to the game now it basically plays the old CG ending, but they crudely edited Sora and Riku in. Sora and Kairi in.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's supposed to be funny, but it is just funny and bad.
Okay.
Here's what I want to do.
I thought it was
when I saw that, I was like,
cute,
my
but
life
that
goal.
Twilight Town one is so fucking funny.
My life goal is to get source filmmaker models for Sora and Kairi and have them do this the generic Tony Hawk clap, 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 pump hand, and just edit them into the original ending. Because I want to see that now.
Yeah. Like, all of them made sense. Where it's like, oh, they're hanging out here for this celebration. Oh yeah, she's helping the nominate thing that happens here. And oh, that's how Chirithy's over here. The one where it's like, they were like 10 yards above the other guys on that tower.
Just also eating ice cream. Yeah.
I thought that one was so they wrote themselves into a corner when they had this idea, and they had no idea what to do for that one.
It was so weird because it's like this isn't about you, Sora. Fuck off, right?
Yeah, that's so strange.
It's like you don't need to put him here.
I'd also like to point out, like, people are. I think Nomura said something like the new title screen after you beat the ReMind chapter will be a hint of the next game. Did he say something like that, Casey?
Yes.
Which leads people to believe it's going to be Kairi. It's going to be her time, finally. And I'm like, is she going to be level 1 because she was asleep for a year and all her fucking muscles atrophied?
That's how
Here's
it works.
the secret.
There's always a reason why you got to be level 1.
Here's the secret. She was never above level 1.
Aww. I didn't realize her in the ending was her critical level 1
She was shredding Xehanort's asshole on my playthrough. She can throw that Keyblade 800 feet and then teleport to it.
This is stretching long, but whatever. I'm editing it. That part where you have to beat the X out of Xemnas was one of the funniest things in that DLC. They're like, we beat him up hard enough that we got an X to go inside our body. Because we just did that stream where we're like, yo, is that in the codex? The sigil? No. It's in there now.
Did Axel use the fucking fire wheels at any point in Vanilla?
No. That was another super weird thing. They blow up his Keyblade, and at the very next scene, he's using the Keyblade.
Oh, he uses it in combat. Like in the 2 minutes he fights in the main game, they show animations of him like turning the Keyblade into the fire wheels and throwing them.
I feel like there's other instances. It's so weird. Like, I don't like fucking go to another series if you want consistency. I'm sorry. But it's so weird that like Mickey and Riku's Keyblades got broken, so they're gone. But then other times in the series, you can just rematerialize it.
Yeah, I mean, everything in this DLC was, we took the part of the game where you clap, and we add more scenes to clap at, despite that making 0 sense.
What happened to Sora after Terranort shot him with the final flash?
Oh, he was grabbed in the darkness by the Guardian, but the Guardian is Terra. So, and Terra's heart sealed in there, so he was resting within Terra for that moment.
Yes, future Sora. Just so we're clear.
Yeah, this is future Sora, because future Sora separated from current Sora to go chase after Lingering Will at the time.
You know, it's Sora is that guy who always eats the command grab, no matter how many times. No matter how many times
He always
out.
jumps.
No, he never jumps. That's the problem. Jumping gets you out of the command grab. He's like, I'm gonna mash jab.
Okay.
No, I got thrown again.
Mm-hmm.
It happens like twice in the span of 10 seconds against Terranort.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was the ReMind stuff. I didn't hit the secret episode yet. I'm spoiled on who it is.
Yeah, fuck Sprout.
And yeah, fuck the voice actor who spoiled it for me because someone liked their tweet of them responding to someone saying he should probably get good. Because someone's like, I couldn't beat you. Which, by the
Do
way,
you think-
I cannot handle who's voicing him.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, no,
Way too much.
it's killing me that that's who they cast, but it's also perfectly on brand.
It is.
Do you think?
There's nothing more on brand than that.
Yeah.
Do you think do you think he's just constantly like, hey, how about you put in that fucking stupid meme image of the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody as a Kingdom Hearts level as a CAG? And they're like, fucking shut up.
I could not. People just posting. That's him with Roxas, and it's a picture of that episode of Sweet Life where Jesse McCartney was there.
Oh my fucking god. Okay.
And that fucked me up because when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, that episode was new. So
Okay.
I was like, oh, it's that one singer guy. But to wrap up my thoughts, I did the limit cut stuff. I think these bosses are fantastic. They're kind of what I want from these, where they seem insurmountable. They're doing so many things, but then you realize what their attacks are doing, how you should probably respond, and then coming up with some backup strategies and stuff. And Kingdom Hearts bosses have not felt this fun in a very long time, and I think it's some of the best stuff they've pulled out. The gimmicks that they've come up with some of them have been solid. Like the young Xehanort one, for example, where when you bring him down to 1 health and he stops time and forces you to break out of time by beating his ass, which scared the hell out of me because I wasn't expecting it.
He did it twice to me. I was so scared. I got him down to 1 health, and I'm like, no, not again. Not again.
That and the Marluxia one, where you put him down to 1 health, he puts a counter on you and it starts ticking down. And I'm like, what? Because that's like a variation on something they did in 2, but I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
I was gonna say, I thought that was from 2.
Oh, in 2, it's based on your level, and you take a hit, which they've now retrofitted into, like, the mid-game mechanic, but now it's just a timer. So they bring back a lot of old stuff there, and it's cool to see them recreated in the new engine and stuff. But these fights are really, really fantastic and fun to get into. They're also incredibly hard, though, so I still haven't finished them. But I'm looking forward to getting to the rest of them and seeing why they locked the Xion and Master Xehanort. I'm sure they're going to be nightmares.
Most of my trouble was with young Xehanort.
So far the hardest one I've fought is the Xion one.
Yeah, Xion is
okay.
naughty.
The young Xehanort one
the gimmick with her is awful.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
God.
it's actually
Well,
not even new, Bob. It's not even new.
Of course it's not new.
I'm positive I've seen that shit in an older Kingdom Hearts. It's not a novel
You
thing to
can
hit
tell
you
me,
with.
what is this gimmick?
She will
can
make
tell me, what
your
is
health
this
bar 1 hit. So you can only
What
take
does that mean?
you can only take 1 hit and you're dead.
Yeah, she has
an ability that just caps your health bar.
Yeah,
at a very
all of
tiny
them
amount.
do that. They hit me, and then the bar is like you got 1 line left because you got hurt.
Well, yeah, no, it makes your max HP 1, so you don't even get that last hit.
Oh my God, it's a Dark Souls thing
Yeah.
where they just shrink your health bar.
Uh-huh,
No
yeah,
other
that's
game's
what
done
she
that
does.
Shit.
That's what she does.
Oh no.
It's funny because she has 2 different scales of doing it too. So when she did it the first time and I had like barely enough health bar to cover the curve, I was like, oh geez, this is rough. Then she brought it down to basically 1 hit and I'm like, oh no, this is rough.
No, that's so hilarious. But yeah, the young Xehanort fight I found to be like one of the easier ones, but it's just because
It was the Keyblade I was using.
That's the one.
is
That's
what it
the
ended
one
up
that
being.
shows you how the patterns work. Where it's like, oh, he attacks on the 3rd time, he just teleports, and it's trying to teach you like that's how the fights typically.
Oh yeah,
go,
no,
where-
it ended up being that the Keyblade I was using and the sorts of attacks it can do in the form don't help me cover ground nearly as much. I switched Keyblades and I was able to defeat him after a little bit. Because keep in mind, I'm using the kit from that fucking stream. It's a homeless person stumbling into limit cut.
Yeah, I had some where it's like, oh, what if these bosses suck? Because the previous ones, no matter what you would hit, it wouldn't affect them. Like they wouldn't stagger from being hit in the like Birth by Sleep. But in this one, it's like, oh, you successfully blocked 3 or 4 attack attempts. Now his ass is opened up. I'm like, okay, good. good. I can work with
Dark
this.
Inferno really was kind of like the very basic version of these.
But yeah,
I don't know why they put him, but completely useless at the start of the DLC.
But yeah, I'm so satisfied. They basically gave me the things I wanted. I would agree, though, that I'm the target audience for this specific type of content. So I don't, I would have paid whatever it was. And I think $20 would have made more sense given what they're offering between the story, the fights, the secret thing, the difficulty stuff for the main game, the photo mode. That seems to make more sense. 30 for DLC anyway seems steep.
Yeah, I can't
I'm trying to remember
easily
last
think
time.
of off the top of my head what is a $30 DLC. I know that The Last of Us Left Behind was about 10 or 15, I think.
I'm so glad that they did not do a season pass of this.
I think all of Second Light is 20. I'm going to look that up. Infamous Second Light. for
$30
anyone who
First
knows.
Light.
$30
First Light, sorry.
is expansion pack pricing to me.
Yeah,
like you're getting
yeah.
5 to 10 hours minimum.
like I think of Neo's or season pass. I'm like, that was so much more content for less.
Yeah. In the end, this was exactly what they've added in every Final Mix before. New weapons, new story fights, but they changed the way the story fights function, where before they would add them to the main game. Here, because of how the plot works, it's instead an extension.
Here they
But
roughly crafted it into the main game.
It is perfectly crafted. Fantastic.
They got their glue gun and everything. You can hardly see the Elmers.
And they have all of these pieces left over.
They did like a shitty job when somebody does a shitty job of taping drywall. You can just patch through the wall.
Yeah.
I don't expect DLC implementation to be related to drywall. Yeah, Infamous First Light's $15.
And
There we
also, this fitting into the main game feels perfectly fine. I came off Final Fantasy 15. This is a godsend.
go. This home is fine. I used to live in a dumpster.
Yes.
You know,
this
those
is a perfectly fine home. I understand the plot completely.
You know those NESs that you see modded poorly they open it up and it's just filled with hot glue? It's like I got the HDMI mod in. Don't look at it though.
Don't look at it.
It works.
Don't.
We gotta move on though.
It turns
We
on.
do.
It boots sometimes. Sometimes it boots.
We
But
gotta
yeah,
move on though.
I do absolutely sympathize with you guys and like other people that are like, I can't beat this, and I don't want to YouTube this.
I mean, they think they don't want to YouTube it. Then they're gonna see the final dude and be like, I'm a YouTube the version where I beat him.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not even using those coins.
That's fair. I actually
I'm
did.
not even using those Kupo coins that bring you back.
I
to
did
life.
buy those Kupo coins, but out of all 13 fights, I think I only did a successful run that needed it on 2. It just helped me get practice more. Because I kept visiting the shop after every single one to be like, oh, I need to restock, make sure I got all these things. Oh, I didn't use my Kupo coin, and it was kind of surprising me. I think literally 2 of them, what the final run, the successful run, it involved the Kupo coin.
There's always moments in these bosses where I question, this seems impossible. Riku is putting up a barrier and punishing me for... Oh, I roll away and then I can hit him for 2 combos. Okay, I get it. There's a lot of that.
But
Yeah, they're
yeah.
just figure out when you can hit these dipshits.
Yep. But that should be it for our Kingdom Hearts 3 ReMind Spoilercast.
yes, now that we've talked about Kingdom Hearts 3 ReMind, it's time to talk about the Podlords.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
Podlords such as Danny Richardson, E. Lee Broyles, Texas Man Join Smash, Corey Brown, Dank
I'm afraid.
Mormons, Red Blaze 27, Confused Chirithy Sounds, Suzu
Give me a
Shiro,
privacy.
Emperor Zero, Mitzi, Nobody Crime Statistics Organization funded by Yesub,
Could be anybody.
Moon Muse Entertainment Studio, Adraco, Don't worry, officer, it's not pedophilia because I was thinking of Minnie.
Oh!
I'm not reading that. I'm putting it in the Discord. That's literally the name. They changed their name to what I say when I won't read shit.
Very clever.
What the fuck is this? You guys are on the same wavelength. The only actual true Master Yi-Sub stan. The Yi-Sub is Busey backwards. Ooh. Oh god, this image is horrifying.
Show me, Dan.
Give it to me.
Keyblade and lightning.
One day, Gary.
I'll hold them back as long as I can.
101 Shades of Wonderful. WTF, Spider-Man. Unknown artwork. Mr. I Like Bacon. And Renegade. Thank you very much to our Podlords.
Gracias.
Thank you, Podlord.
Thanks, Podlord.
Thank you, Podlord. Mr. Podlord. Give me your patronage. Boom, 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 boom.
Dan, it would be Mr. Podlord, give me your green.
Pum, 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 pum. So guys, they got two new teams working on Kingdom Hearts titles.
Yeah, they put this out in an interview right before ReMind launched, where they went, so far there are two main teams. There's the Osaka team that makes the mainline titles. There is the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross team that makes the mobile game. They said they now have two teams on top of that are going to be working on stuff. We'll see one title that's new surprisingly soon. And they also said stuff like Kingdom Hearts 4 is already in development, stuff like that.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And that they're not doing anything else with 3, basically, which makes sense because they did everything they usually do with those. They announced a new mobile game, and all their accounts are called Project Xehanort, which is the funniest thing I've read in months. And it is a mobile title that's going to delve into Xehanort's past, which makes sense because they've said that they never had the budget to make a game about that. So it's like, yeah, nope, nobody makes portable games anymore because they cost a lot more. Like, they can't make a DS style game that would, you know, if the DS existed, this kind of game would have ended up getting made. So instead,
Absolutely.
they're making
Just make a Switch game that's really, really low budget.
yeah, they're just going to make a low budget mobile game. However, they are asking something of us. They're asking what I would term an impossible task. They want people to go onto like their website or whatever and correctly guess the name of this game. They want you to correctly guess the name of a new Kingdom Hearts title that isn't a mainline title.
I don't get what the problem is. This is what we do every day, KZ.
Yeah, this is our premonition.
So, you're right. So that's why everyone here is going to have to make one guess of what they will call this new Kingdom Hearts Project Xehanort game. Feel? What is your guess?
Kingdom Hearts Seeker of Darkness.
Dan.
Kingdom Hearts, another.
I'm mad because that's mine. Bob.
13 Hearts.
KZ, if you want, you can have yours back because I have another and it's far dumber.
Sure.
Kingdom
Let's
No
hear it.
Hearts.
Oh man, and then the no is like,
You know what's
text you
fucked
can't
up?
really read.
I was going to say Kingdom No Heart because I'm like, what is the other anagram?
Yes. They're like, can you
I
believe
feel
these
like
guys?
another might be it.
They're like, can you believe these guys guessed? And people just stare at Nomura.
He's laughing as he continues to
Wait, I have another title.
what?
Kingdom Hearts 13.
I have an idea about who the protagonist of this game could be alongside
Kingdom
Xehanort.
Kingdom Hearts Xehanort, but it's the other X.
who would star along with Xehanort in this?
In Kingdom Hearts 13.
Yeah,
It's
Kingdom
such a mystery.
It's Snow, isn't it?
It's definitely Snow. You got it.
They showed promo art of Xehanort sitting in a young twink Xehanort sitting in a chair, and there's like a young Ericus there, and then they fuzzed out the other characters that are next to him, so it looks like there'll be 5 characters doing stuff. I'm looking forward to catching up on the summaries on YouTube of what the developments are, and then telling people, "Oh man, you gotta go on the Ark and separate your flesh to go break through the time barrier."
There will never be an end to Kingdom Hearts.
By the way, that's from a recent update explaining how Maleficent time traveled.
Oh,
and
yeah.
returned in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. Who wants to go next?
I got news.
What we got?
I got news. So last episode, I believe, we covered Toho Spell Bubble, which just blatantly looks like a Toho game. That's Puzzle Bobble, or Bust a Move, as it is also known. But it's also a rhythm game. That's Toho Spell Bubble. We have news. It will be launching in Japan on February 6th, and it features a lot of music, some of which is made from like people who did DDR songs back in the day.
Oh.
So that's pretty hype. Unfortunately, it is a full price ass game, and I'm going to look like a lunatic if I buy it, but I still might.
I'm tempted. Like, I like Bust a
Probably
Move.
wait for localization.
I like Bust a Move. I like rhythm games. I like DDR. I'm tempted.
But yeah, hopefully it does get localized, and I assume it'll probably still be the same price, because that's how it usually goes.
But you know, that game looks really joyous. It's got some neat art to it they've shown off. But what if you don't want joy? Well, Ninja Theory has a game for you, Bob.
No!
You forced us to watch this trailer. I've already forgotten it, except for one detail that I'll just bring up very briefly. Their last few things have had, I think, their attempt at Kino in it, where each trailer would start, and on the bottom right, there'd be 3 little empty nodes. And with each new announcement, they filled in that node. And like the Hellblade 2 filled in 2 of them. This one filled in 3. Is this a part of their cinematic universe?
This is them firing on all cylinders. This is what peak performance looks like. And what peak performance looks like is Project Mara, which was announced by Ninja Theory. It is going to be, and this is a direct quote verbatim, real world and grounded representation of true mental terror. It'll be based heavily on research, interviews, and first-hand accounts to recreate the horrors of the mind as accurately and as believably as possible. The trailer shows a nice high-end house and spooky sounds as you walk around.
Don't forget that spooky, scary face.
They have confirmed this game takes place in one location. Guys, they made high-end quadruple A PT, but they're backing it up with neuroscience.
Is this their attempt at making like content that people have to pay attention to, because it's like, see, we're doing something really, really serious. No other video game's doing this to hide the fact that they don't make good video games.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I
usually don't want to be that guy to just like kneecap them like that, but also, come on.
The part where they're saying that's what it is, and then the trailer just shows that it's a PT like spooky, scary, yelly thing with faces and darkness is what really gets me.
It just
because you can tell a story about that. Ninja Theory can't.
They do reveals and present these at least not Bleeding Edge, but like the Hellblade thing and this, where it feels like this is this major big hype thing, but I'm like, it's a fucking Ninja Theory thing. Like, you have no clout.
They you just watch the trailer for the gameplay. There is a much longer video where it's Tamim and Toniades and other people from Ninja Theory telling you about the importance of this game, and it cutting to all sorts of science experiment looking stuff. They say really brilliant things like, we realize that the mind isn't separate from the body. And I'm like, yeah, it's called a brain. It's not a separate organ.
I don't engage with them. You've helped actively make me hate this studio.
I give them all the rope in the world. I have tried literally every game of theirs except for Hellblade, hoping for the best. I know too much about Hellblade to know that I probably won't like it in the least.
Indie AAA.
Yeah, that's not great.
Say, you know what really makes me convinced Ninja Theory is deeply dedicated to mental health and such when they have moderate success doing one thing based on that and then go, all of our stuff forever is now based on this.
Yeah, that doesn't seem suspect in the least. Before we talk about other news, which are more normal game announcements, Bob and I bought that back button attachment for the DualShock 4. Have you guys tried that?
No.
I have not. I do want to get it, though.
Have you
I
seen
am
it
finding
feel?
myself wanting to claw sometimes while playing ReMind.
That's fair. That's fair. My experience has been it's neat for pinball because it feels closer to how the buttons on the side of a pinball table feel. I like it a lot for that. I tried to make it work on a number of other games and it just wasn't working for me. Keep in mind, I did not try shooters. I understand the number one use case of this is set one of them to run and the other one to reload or melee or whatever. I just couldn't get it to work for me in a way that felt comfortable. Also, it occupies a lot of the negative space you would normally put your fingers in. So I find it kind of uncomfortable. Bob, how was your experience?
Yeah, it was pretty similar where it's so big on the bottom of the controller. Like, part of the reason I like the DualShock is it's so comfortable. And this makes it not at all. I tried it on Devil May Cry. I feel like there's some neat things I could get down with that, with like having style switching on there for the buttons that are harder to reach, like up and left instead of whereas down and right are easy to move your thumb over to from the analog stick. It's a little bit harder to go into the upper ones. And I feel like it could make me better with that, but it would take a lot getting used to. And I don't know if it's worth it for how much less comfortable the controller is. So I'm hoping the DualShock 5 just has these built in and feels good.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that because, if you designed a new controller from the ground up to have those toggles in there, you could easily make it more comfortable. It's not hard.
One other thing.
Yeah.
It will make it... The sync still works fine on PC, which I was surprised about. Like,
that's cool as hell.
Everything worked just the same. I was really happy with that.
Yeah. So I tried to use it on Amplitude, which is a rhythm game you play with your controller. Just couldn't get it to work out. The reason you would want to use it is L2 and R2 are really weird things to tap a really fast rhythm on because they're triggers. They're not buttons. So I thought this would solve that problem, and I couldn't get my head around it. Like, it's just not working out for me that well. I do think in Destiny it would be perfectly suitable. Just a melee key even. Because you guys, just so you know, you can customize it to be any button on the controller except for the share button and touchpad. So it's pretty helpful in theory. But I still haven't seen it work out. Hopefully in the future it'll be useful. Let me put it that way.
I did a little bit of Call of Duty as well. I was like, this is neat. Like, having reload down there is comfortable.
Yeah, because for people who don't play a lot of shooters, sometimes you have to spell it out for people who don't play shooters. You have to take your thumb off of the right analog stick to reload, and that takes time. So that's why you would want reload on the back paddles. Yeah. I have already had this conversation with one person who's seen it in person. So I figured there's a chance someone in the audience doesn't understand either.
And sometimes it doesn't cross the mind, like, oh yeah, you are wasting time.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for my news. Bob, you got news?
Yeah, I got one news article.
I feel like this
I love your news article.
This might
Read it verbatim.
This is the best thing about this, because I think this is relevant to the Game of the Year podcast that came up last week.
Like, every week there's one of these.
And it needs to stop.
Yes. So WayForward agreed with me. They added a new ending for River City Girls for when you beat the extra boss you unlock.
Mm-hmm.
That comes down. That's already on Steam. It's coming to consoles sometime in the future.
Because there's an original ending. And then there's an extra boss, and if you beat that boss, it just fastly shunts the plot into that original ending in a way that's weird.
Yeah, it's super strange.
So this is going to give a discrete ending for the optional boss, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't care what it is. It just needs to be different.
Yeah, it just needs to be different.
That's all I wanted.
When you described it on Game of the Year, I went, yeah, that seems like they should have just put in that extra time.
Yeah.
They also added one thing that makes the game go up a point.
Oh, yeah, they changed around some things. You can go ahead and tell about that.
I only saw the one. It's the only one I needed to see, which is you now have to hold a button to transition between areas instead of it just being proximity based. So you no longer have the problem of you're beating on a dude. Oh, you got too close to the edge of the screen. You're in the next area now.
Wow, that alone is enough for me to be like, I'm glad I waited to play the game.
Yeah, no, it's a great.
I
palpable
assumed you were going to say, wow, I want to play this now.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. I've been looking forward to it, but Jesus, that's a huge upgrade. That is so important for anyone who hasn't played a beat 'em up.
Yeah,
You're gonna get knocked near a wall a lot. Anyway, KZ, I can't believe this fucking Dying Light news. Can you cover it for us?
All right, so Dying Light 2, this is the seemingly ambitious game where like entire areas are going to like change based on your choices. It's being written by the what's his name? The guy who wrote New Vegas?
Chris Avallone.
Yeah, he's doing the writing for this game. So it's the more parkour focused zombie game that split off. Like the team was originally doing those Dead Island games, and then Dead Island 2 was never going to come out. Well, Dying Light 2 got delayed from spring to they don't know.
that means it's next gen, but they don't want to talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's absolutely what that means.
The way I've seen a lot of people talk about that game is like people don't understand how big this is actually going to be because they saw like behind closed doors things. So maybe it is like PS4 and Xbox One originals are just melting. They just can't handle.
Mean, that's fair. The original Dying Light didn't exactly run great. Running a system simulation on top of that with population in it.
Mm-hmm. But that was yet another part of the big delay season where everyone's like, okay, we're allowed to not come out in the first 4 months again.
Yeah,
we're allowed to move past it.
Once we get to that January, that's when you get to see that. See, movies, they have fuck you, it's January. Games, we have fuck you, it's delayed.
It was so weird when everyone
we won't survive otherwise.
Everyone announced for the first 4 months of this year. It was like, what are you guys thinking? There's no way they're gone.
They're thinking their fiscal year is ending.
Yeah, I know what they're thinking. I know that they want to say that to their investors, and they have to say that to the public too.
Yep. Yeah, what is this? Huh? I have no frame of reference for what the fuck these words mean. Can you explain it,
okay.
KZ?
So they announced a PS4 version of the arcade game Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme vs. Maxi Boost On, and at the same time confirmed that it will be coming to the West in 2020 to dance on the grave of the very unfortunate 2017 game Gundam Versus. Their attempt to get people interested in the West. That game wasn't very good, unfortunately.
Yeah, my understanding was we need to make the Westerners want this, so we'll make a new one that's bad for them. It's like Jump Force.
Yeah, not as bad as Jump Force, but
not as bad, but it's the same logic of fucking pig Westerners. Here's slop.
I don't even understand how these are supposed to appeal to the Western audience. They didn't even bother getting a dub. It's insane.
Yeah, it's weird. And then they have like the one that has all the anime tracks, and it's like $150 version of the game. Yeah. But this is the most recent version of the arcade game. This has, I believe it's 187 different mobile suits to use across every Gundam series. And it plays similarly to Dissidia NT, where it's the 3v3 team based, and how it works differently is that each mobile suit has a grade to it that's worth a certain amount of points. I think it's like 100 to 500, and your team has a certain amount of points as a full thing. So one of you can be a super big strong ship, and that has a higher amount on it. So it's like it ends up being better. But then two other people could be like really weak ones, and there's like some strategy involved in that. And it's just expending those points and going through it. And whenever people talked about Dissidia NT when it came out, they went, oh, this is like those Gundam games, only terrible.
I'm going to submit that we stop describing things as they play like Dissidia and start describing them as Anarchy Reigns.
No, Anarchy Reigns plays way better than Dissidia NT.
Yeah, I don't see any crossover between those at all.
I'm trying to be optimistic about team-based melee versus.
Well, do you see, the thing about this and Dissidia is there's zero gravity. You just fly around everywhere and it feels terrible.
Oh.
Well, this is actually a fairly successful like series of games. There's a lot of, people enjoy these, and we're pretty disappointed with that Western one. And this one seems like they're just scaling back and just using old models. Maybe, because I have to wonder how else you get 187 here, because the one that came out in 2017, they're like, we made them all from scratch, brand new. That's why they
we didn't give you any of the
have
ones you
enough.
want.
Yeah, it's like, here's season 1 of this Gundam, and we got 3 ships from it.
Here's one thing
And-
from Wing and nothing from G Gundam. That's what the West wants, right?
Oh yeah, the G Gundam roster is like, you got the whole Shuffle Alliance and like 3 other ones on top of it, and Gundam Wing has like 8. So this has a meaty roster to it. I'm interested in picking this one up when it comes out, because it won't need DLC necessarily to feel done. And that one,
I hope that there's actually a single player that feels fulfilling it all, because the last one was basically nothing.
Look, Bob, in order to get a rewarding Gundam single player, we're going to have to go back to Gundam Musou 2.
Psycho Gundam, no!
yeah, I'm just expecting like dumb fun like wave-based stuff and like random matches. And
I really miss Dynasty Warriors Gundam. Those were way better than anything else we've gotten since for Gundam.
Yeah, no, they felt
didn't they
really
make
fan servicey and had fun levels, and yeah,
they should do that again.
yeah, absolutely.
Didn't they make like a shitty version of Gundam Breaker for the West too?
Yeah, they made something called it was both Japan and the West. It was called New Gundam Breaker. And those are the ones where you make, they're based on the toys. So you're like building your own ship out of random pieces, so you can make whatever you want. It was so unbelievably badly optimized. It felt bad, it controlled bad, to the point where in Japan it went on a 50% off sale on week 2.
Ooh.
And was getting murdered. Just
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand this Bandai Namco shit where it's like, the West says they want this game, make a bad version.
Well, they just gave us the next game they were going to make, which was going to be bad anyway. That's all it is. They, for some reason, got this
We
gen,
have
like,
really
let's make
bad
the
luck.
bad one.
I know people who've played Gundam Breaker 3 for like 200 hours, and they're like, this new one's just garbage.
Yeah, I'm friends with Bird, and he pre-ordered that new Gundam one, and I was like, this is a bad time for you, isn't it? He's like, yeah, it is. I want to die.
I think the thing that was supposed to be really bad about that one is that when your parts broke, they were just gone forever. So
Yes.
you didn't get to have a consistent thing you built.
Oh, that frustrated me.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, no, somebody told me that, and it made my OCD go off, and I was like, nope, I can never play that game. Feel, I don't want to talk about the hype news first. Tell me about Red Dead 2.
Okay, so some sales numbers for Red Dead 2 on PC came out.
Mm-hmm.
The first month where it was only on Rockstar and Epic, combined both platforms sold 400,000. On PC, once it came out on Steam, so December sales, 1.2 million.
Of course.
That doesn't make
And
any
I'm willing-
sense. They had so much time on Epic.
So that month exclusive. Plus,
Epic
I'm
paid
sure of that
$14 billion
400,000.
for this.
I hope. Now, I'm gonna, Disco Elysium got a hardcore mode in a patch. It's called True Detective Mode. I'm just gonna
Ooh.
read the feature list they put out verbatim.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
straight. Here's the feature list. You're gonna fail more. There's gonna be horror. You're gonna get screwed by Big Pharma. You're gonna learn to love drugs. You're gonna treasure your clothes. You're gonna think more carefully. You're gonna wise up faster.
Wow.
This game isn't real. I own it. I played it. It isn't real.
I actually watched an interview GameSpot, I believe, did with the writer behind it. It was really good. It was people should try to hunt that down, because some of the shit he says, they're like, hey, if you were to make a dream project, what would it be? And he's like, it'd be really neat to have an RPG like this with all this depth and the social interactions and stuff like that, but maybe have a combat system at all. I don't know. And it just made me laugh. This is his grand unachievable dream. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's fair. I can't think of any pre-existing game that fits that description. That's hype as shit, though.
Everything about that game's a fever dream.
Yes.
Ham sandwich.
God. So, Hatsune Miku Project Diva Mega Mix is coming to the Switch. I'm excited because it's hard for me to justify sitting down and staring at my TV and playing a game like this for extended periods of time, but it's much easier if I have like the Switch in my lap. So I had been waiting for a Switch version of Project Diva.
Well, Bob, you're probably excited for this, right? Because under the trivia on Bob on the GigaBoots is cool.fandom.com wiki, it says,
No.
Dan has claimed that Bob is a fan of Hatsune Miku, though this may have been a ploy in an attempt to ruin his co-host's life.
When we first started talking to each other, I checked your wiki and it said that, and I went, oh no, what is this going to become?
I kind of like Miku. I'm not some huge fan or anything, but I haven't bought one of the games, I don't think.
Yeah,
She's my favorite
neat.
Persona character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, that design's really good.
It is, actually.
Nintendo put out an official post saying Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is coming out May 22nd, and THQ said, we don't have any comment.
That's awkward.
Yeah.
So either Nintendo wasn't supposed to say it yet, or it's not true. I'm going to lean towards the former.
Yeah, I wonder when they're going to finally reveal that. It looks real nice. Again, still shocked that they didn't just do a remaster of it. They're like, we made the game in Unreal 4 instead.
Or patching in shit that was on the cutting room floor from before, too.
Yeah, I don't expect that for licensed cartoon video game remake.
We didn't cover it, but I have one piece of news before we get into this final bit.
Sure.
Guys, a Nintendo Switch exclusive is coming to the PS4. It's what you've been waiting for. Game Freak's Little Town Hero.
Oh my god.
Finally, that game at a consistent frame rate.
That game that got
halfway
mediocre
through the
reviews?
sentence, I had to change it to a question.
Didn't that game get like 5 out of 10s from some places?
That game that got bad
yeah.
reviews.
I watched a video describing it where it's like you play it like a board game where you're moving across the board to do stuff, and you're using ideas to attack and stuff. But that game is so RNG dependent that sometimes battles will take an hour and a half and you could lose.
Ugh. That sounds like the worst fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Also, we got a piece of news right now.
What is
Not
it?
right now, but Rune Factory 4 for the Switch launches on February 25th.
In the
Oh,
US?
okay. Is
In
that
the
the
US.
new one?
Amazing.
That's the
Or-
remake of 4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I remember like there were 2 Rune Factory games that I think were shown. I'm thinking of the right series.
They said that we're bringing back 4 to the Switch, and then we're also making 5.
Ah,
But they had nothing to show for 5. But hey, it'd be
Yeah, I
nice
was
to have
wondering if this was that mysterious logo one or not.
any Harvest Moon style game that's going to run well. Because they've been locked on the 3DS and it's a nightmare.
I know, it's so depressing. As someone who loves good frame rates and solid performance, and also Harvest Moon.
You just can't win.
No, this is how I win.
Phil, how did
see
we
that
save
movie.
the next piece of news for last?
'Cause it's
I don't
Kino.
know. Sega
it's
announces Sonic 2020, gearing up for 2021, which is the 30th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. On the 20th of every month this year, we're going to get Sonic news. Hedgehoggers.
You don't understand. I came into this document. I posted it into the Discord, right? And it was late too. Like it was later than we usually put it up. Immediately, Phil comes in, starts typing, and I'm like, "What is he saying?" When he fucking wrote hedgehoggers, I went fucking feral.
I think it was Dai Rocketo who got upset at me for posting an image of Feels notes.
It's the worst. Gamer premonition. Feel,
Yeah.
how many of these 12 months of announcements will matter?
2.
I'm going to change that number. I'm a Sonic enthusiast. I wouldn't say fan because I'm, critical of some of the newer stuff, but 10. I'm going to say 10, and I'm going to end up buying stupid bullshit at least 3 times this year.
Bob.
Wow, they're
Hedge
all
Bob.
going to matter, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes, to my dumb ass.
Yes.
10 out of 12 will matter.
I think
Mm-hmm.
there'll be one that is genuinely important and really good, but there'll probably be 5 that I care about.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say like 4, because one is gonna be like their next game, presumably, or like at least an announcement of their next game.
Hopefully, there's an announcement of a new game here, because if not, this is
there has to
insane.
be.
I heard
It can't just-
they've been teasing something for like a few months of like the next mainline Sonic game is
It'll be Sonic
Coming-
Adventure 4, 3,
Yeah.
whatever.
3. Yeah, 3. Unless they really want to consider Sonic Unleashed Sonic Adventure 3, because it was called Sonic World Adventure in Japan.
Huh?
Yeah.
One of those announcements should be a Sonic Unleashed PC port, because I'd love to play that game at a stable frame rate. And
Yeah,
also
no.
with a mod that entirely rips the metal system out.
That'd be.
If you take the metal system out of that and maybe cut 2 Werehog levels with a good frame rate, that game goes up like 3 points. Actually, I enjoyed Unleashed, despite the fact that it's a slideshow at the worst of times.
I look forward
Yeah,
to the
it's-
next Sonic month.
You mean you look forward to KZ Sonic Month?
I can look forward to both.
There's so many things to look forward to. Like, I hope they follow up on the things they did in Sonic Forces in terms of like a game, and they say, all right, we made this game in a year after finally finishing the engine. Here's multiple years of development on a Sonic game, and there's no and don't do the classic Sonic shit again.
Yeah, please stop.
Because
Please.
like Sonic Forces without the classic Sonic segments and 3 more years of dev time to make levels that are longer than 45 seconds would be solid.
KZ
I
with the
take out
bold
classic
statement
Sonic.
of, if they had made an entirely different good game instead of a bad one, it'd be good.
Get rid of all the parts modern Sonic plays in 2D. Please, just stop it.
Yeah, no, maybe stop doing that. Because every single time they do the boost levels in that game, I started getting into it and getting excited, and right the second I feel that twinge of, I'm getting into it, it's done.
Yeah, no, those levels end in
come on.
literally 30 seconds.
It's so... Because I really enjoy the boost Sonic games a lot. So seeing them make bad ones that are like a fifth of the length of what they should be just sucks. But yeah, I hope their next game's cool, because I'm somewhat like I'm willing to look at what they have. I'm usually not too super down on Sonic stuff.
I have a premonition.
Uh-huh.
What?
One of the 12 announcements will be an album. It will feature Knuckles rapping.
Gamer premonition.
That seems pretty likely.
At least 2 of these announcements somehow will include the Game Grumps.
God damn it, I knew that from fucking going!
Fuck you.
It's funny, he let's played the games and said they were bad. We're going to include them in marketing.
The absolute worst I despise the PR direction of Sonic nowadays, where it's just like, haha, we're bad. We can't actually say that because we're selling a product. Here's some assholes who dump on us every chance they get.
I, by and large, really like the Sonic account, but
Anytime
I don't.
they
I don't
do
need.
that.
I don't need those guys crossing over into Sonic. I don't.
I mean, it was bad enough
I just-
seeing them there with Sega.
Don't. Mm-mm.
No,
Bob, this is
as
on the
Bob-
record. I can't comment.
That is it for our news for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Bob and I in the next week should have another part of the Detroit Let's Play coming out. Maybe more of the Game of the Year podcast. That's right. There's more.
It never ends.
as you found out last week with
As
the
you
cliffhanger.
shovel coal into this fucking train.
Yes.
You have to be as fucking tired and delirious by the end of those podcasts as we were when we finished recording them.
Yeah, no, you can
We
tell.
finished recording them?
Yes. But we have Detroit. We have that coming out. Bob and I, of course, will do our Friday live stream. And aside from that, I can't think of anything extra. Of course, if you're a GB Podcast patron, you should be expecting a Curse Content by committee sometime soon or by now. Who knows? But that's about it for us. KZ, what do you have coming out in the next week?
Over the next week, I'm putting out my blind run through of the Kingdom Hearts 3 ReMind stuff. When it comes to everything that wasn't that first story chunk, so all the boss stuff, it's going to be like a supercut of my experience going through those bosses. So it'll just be edited stream content because I did 5 minutes of one and went, yeah, this isn't going to work. Of me sitting alone recording this. That's not happening. But yeah, that's pretty much the only other new thing. Some things are going to start wrapping up series wise. But yeah, you'll have to check that out. Yeah, that's it. That's it for me.
Hey, Phil, are you going to be refuting some shooties?
Yes, I will be continuing playing Danganronpa Refuty Shooty. It is now the sub notification because Shibuya Gato made me a lovely animated GIF of
Oh, that's great.
the objection animation, but she changed the text to Refuty Shooty. So that is very nice. Hopefully by the next stream after you hear this, Twitch will have finally approved fucking new emote for that.
Don't expect
Maybe
that for another
by
month.
Big Think Dimension number 57, you'll be been able to show it off.
I fucking hope. But that's all from me. I'll continue streaming that. I'm really enjoying it. When I finish it, I'll talk about it on Big Thing.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds great. We don't have an ending bit. Goodbye.
What? No bit?
Nope. Sorry. Thanks for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. This show, like our other podcasts, is only possible with the generous time our co-hosts have given to us and the equipment we've bought to make it higher quality and easier to produce. Please consider supporting our podcast series on our GigaBoots Podcast Patreon and look forward to more gamer premonitions and Big Think Dimension in the future.
This video was brought to you by the power of the legendary GigaBoots executive producers Vincent Pover, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Dryzart, Red Blaze 27, and Texas Man joins Smash. Thank you for lending us your power, our executive producer.
And also these guys.
If you want to become powerful like our executive producers, then head on over to www.patreon.com/GigaBoots today.